Raise your hand if you thought yesterday was Thursday. Yeah, idiot here. I spent the whole week completely messed up because here in Canada, or at least where I am in Canada, it was a holiday on Monday. So I thought Tuesday was Monday, and I thought yesterday was Thursday. But not the entire day, because when I left work yesterday, I told everyone else, have a good weekend. So I don't know how or why when I got home, I still thought it was Thursday, but I completely forgot about Fan Friday because I thought it was Thursday. So this is a Fan Friday Saturday. I'm really sorry. I know some people were asking in the comments, and I even got private messages both on Instagram and Twitter. So, I mean, that's a good problem to have. People really like the series, so I appreciate the support and I appreciate the interest. And last one was an important one because it was a serious topic. The question that I asked was, you know, if Cassian had have been 10 or 5-10 inches up and cut someone in the neck, and that player was severely injured or, you know, possibly put in critical condition, what kind of punishment would Cassian face? Would he get, 10 games plus? Would he get 40 games plus? Would he get banned for the entire season or indefinitely in the league? And there were some really, really interesting comments, some really in-depth ones. I have some of those in here. Some really short ones. I have some of those in here as well. But I really encourage you to go back to that previous video, which is on the other channel, by the way, and read those comments, because there are some really intelligent, well-written comments about this hypothetical situation. And I wish there were 4 of me that could work all at once and make 4 different videos and read just all the comments on camera, because they all really deserve to be in a video. And unfortunately, I just don't have. There's only one of me, and I just don't have time to produce a 2 or 3 hour long video of reading all those comments. There were so many good ones. But I've picked 12. Should roughly be about a 15, maybe 20-minute video. It seems to be around there for the Fan Fridays. So I appreciate you coming back. I appreciate your interest. And I've got a more of a lighthearted question, but still serious, for the end of this video, which will be the question for next week's video. So if you did make the transition from the original Postables channel over to this one, thank you, welcome. I have all kinds of videos on this channel, like geography, mail time, just general hockey talk, rankings, all kinds of stuff. So if you're not subscribed already, I really appreciate it if you could go down and hit the subscribe button. That really helps me. Okay, so let's go through some of these answers. Like I said, I got 12 here, and there's some really good points. So just some amazing points in these questions. So let's start out with the first one that I chose, and this is from MS, and they say, it's not a matter of how many games. It should be investigated as a criminal offense depending on the jurisdiction in which it occurred. So right away, and this is why I asked this question, because I saw on Twitter a wide variety of just opinions just on what he did, like just kicked in the chest. There were so many varying comments or opinions about the situation. I wanted to take it up a notch and really kind of see what my viewers specifically thought, because I don't get to interact with, tens of thousands of people on Twitter. I spend the majority of my time interacting with my subscribers through YouTube or my followers on Twitter and stuff. So I really wanted to hear from you guys. And this first comment that I chose was a good one in a way, because it made me realize how serious the situation was. We're beyond a fine, we're beyond a suspension, we're maybe even beyond a league ban or a life ban for Cassian in the NHL. We're talking a criminal offense outside of hockey, something that has to be, something that has to be resolved in court. It's a criminal offense. It's attempted murder, attempted manslaughter. That's a really, really intense accusation and claim, but it's so severe. Like, if that had have happened, if he had have cut someone in the neck, if they were in critical condition, or God forbid that if they died, Cassian would likely, he would be charged for probably manslaughter, which is, can you imagine the stir in the sports world if that happened? Can you imagine the followers of that court case? It would be O.J. Simpson like, in a way. It would just go viral. It would be wild. So I'm glad that someone brought it up, because I think it would need to be It would need to be at least considered to be a criminal offense if that happened. Let me know what you think down in the comments, if you think it would go to a criminal level, and some of the other comments in here also kind of mention that as well, but I just, let me know your thoughts in depth about that down in the comment section, with your answer to my upcoming question. So Christopher Schweitzer says he probably would have been indefinitely suspended because that would have been a very catastrophic and dangerous injury. Yeah, I mean, you're not talking about a cut, in the shoulder or like the shin or the knee or the leg or whatever. Like, your jugular goes through here. There's so much blood that's being transferred from your brain to the rest of your body through your neck. Like, this is such a vital part of your body. If you cut there, it is incredibly dangerous. And I mean, that's kind of the point of the question, because it's not a regular, a kick is bad enough, but can you imagine kicking someone in the neck? Like, with a skate? Like, let alone with just like a regular shoe, with a skate? You're gonna kick someone in the neck with a skate? Like, that's scary. Brandon K says, if it was clearly an intentional kick to the throat, I'd say a lifetime ban. Anyone who lacks that kind of self-control is a danger to other players and shouldn't be in the NHL. If it did not look like it was intentional, I think it would be around 40-game suspension. Now, there have been a couple of crazy suspensions in NHL's history. We've seen suspensions around 40 games. I'm trying to remember what the Weidman suspension was, or how many games that was, but we've seen some crazy stuff happen. The McSorley thing, the Bertuzzi thing, the Weidman thing. So I tend to agree here. I would say, even if it didn't look like it was intentional, I still think it would be around 40 games, regardless of injury. Even if it was just a small cut or something like that, maybe even not a cut, maybe if it did hit him in the throat, I really do think that because it is such a vital area, the suspension would have been a lot more harsh. In 40 games, I mean, that's half a season, so you never know. Next up, Train Fan 25 Stewart says, I think he should get at least a year. Even if he didn't kick him hard, he still had intent to harm. Even if the skate grazed. Like, if you kick someone with a skate, like, clearly I know it wasn't hard, but you're still trying to cause harm in a way, even if it's just to get away. Like, you have to be conscious enough to know that I'm wearing sharp blades on my feet, and I'm kicking someone. Like, intent or not, like, you're gonna cause harm, possibly, so, especially if it's in the throat, so, yeah. Next up, Hockey Guy 66871 says, Cassian would get permanently banned from the NHL if he kicked someone in the throat. A lot of comments like this, like the previous one, permanently banned from the NHL. I think that depends on the injury. If it's just a minor cut, or maybe he leaves for the game and comes back, I think it's probably between 30 and 40, like that previous comment said. But if it's severe, he goes to the hospital, maybe he's done playing hockey, I really do believe it's a lifetime ban from the NHL. So, I mean, it's a situation I hope never happens, and I hope we never have to have this discussion again for real. But, yeah, it's wild. Next up, Flightless Lion says, I thought the kick as it stands now should have been the rest of the season plus playoffs, so that's the minimum. I'm pretty sure most people would lose it if that's all he got for nearly killing someone, so probably the rest of the season plus 1 or 2 years. I'd be on board for a lifetime ban. We don't need this in the game. And that's why I was so shocked with only 7 games. He was a repeat offender, he has a lengthy rap sheet, and someone called me out in the comment section in the previous video because I said he had a lengthy rap sheet, and he begged me to do my research. So I posted a link to the list of infractions that he has had just on the ice. So I don't understand that comment at all. Like, clearly this guy has a lengthy rap sheet, plus the new thing that got him a repeat offender, or which made him eligible to be a repeat offender, plus this thing. So, I mean, at this point, you have to send a message. So 7 games to me isn't really sending a message. It's 7 games is not it's uncommon, but not that uncommon for a kick with a skate. I was honestly thinking 10 games plus, maybe even close to 20 games. It's a pretty egregious offense. So I'm kind of on board with this comment. It's about sending a message. We don't need it in the game. Like, we do. It's all about the message. So, again, 7 shocked me. Marco says, if Cassian would have accidentally cut someone's neck with a skate, I would give him either an entire season or ban from the NHL. Accident or not, you don't go kicking people with skates. Tons of comments like this. Like, you just don't, like, what are you doing? You can't kick someone with a skate. It's so dangerous. Next up, Amalist81 says, a kick to the neck and potentially killing another person. I could very easily see Cassian getting booted from the league for the remainder of his life and even face criminal charges, to be honest. Kind of going back to the first comment we had, criminal charges. There were lots of comments just like this. A lot of people seem to be on the same page that, you know, this kind of goes away from, or this extends beyond hockey. This is a criminal offense. You are cutting someone's throat. You could potentially kill them. Next up, Andrew Hayes says, I'm no lawyer or know anything about how the system works, but wouldn't that be an attempted manslaughter offense or something if he hypothetically kicked someone in the neck in the same fashion that he did during the Edmonton versus Tampa Bay game on February 13th? He would be criminally charged and or banned from the NHL, I would think. Again, more people on the boat of a criminal offense. I would say that reading all the comments, I'm trying to go back and think if anyone said under 20 games, and I can't think of any comment that said anything less than 20 games. Like, I think almost everyone was on board with, like, he should be banned a long time, or suspended a long time rather. So I think we're all basically on the same page here. Tyler says, I think the NHL would give it an indefinite suspension until the rest of the season. In the summer, I would guess an announcement of an additional 40 games, in total around 70 games, 70 regular season games. Interesting point here. I can't remember a time where someone was suspended late in the season or whatever, and then it was so bad that they had to review it again to see if they're going to give him more games. I'm not sure if that's possible. Once they make the decision to ban them or suspend them for however many games, can you revisit that scenario and say, actually, you know what, our first ruling wasn't harsh enough, so here's another 40 games or another 30 games or whatever it is. I don't know if that's in the rules or the CBA or whatever from a player's perspective. I feel like the player could really appeal that and go like, what do you mean there's an additional 30 games? You gave me 40 games. I served those 40 games. You can't revisit that now and give me an additional 30 games. Why didn't you do that initially? You didn't have enough time? Like, you're the department's player safety. You should get it right the first time. This makes you look bad. I think a player could probably make that argument and likely win in an appeal. Although I'm not saying that shouldn't happen. If something like this happens, you know, they give them 40 games, and if the player doesn't respond how they should and maybe grow as a person or learn or has massive backlash to the suspension and call out the DOPS and all that stuff, maybe they could have a conversation and say, you know what, we don't like your attitude about this. You did not learn your lesson. Boom, here's another 30 games. Interesting to consider. Next comment is from Jay. Jay says, assuming the league felt it was intentional, not just a kick, but targeting the neck or another unprotected area of the body, I would think you would look at the Marty McSorley as precedent. So at least 23 games and possible criminal charges, again with the criminal. McSorley was charged with an assault with a weapon, though with Cassian's act being in the US and not Canada, the law might shield him. Interesting, yes, because, you know, we're not just playing in America, we're not just playing in Canada. Once it goes beyond hockey in criminal sense, it's country by country, it's state by state, maybe town by town. I don't know how it works, but that's an interesting point. Given his age, it could go even further. Being something like Bertuzzi, where it's an indefinite and be measured in years rather than games, though the lockout makes that tough to measure since Bertuzzi only missed 20 games in his 17th-month suspension. That's another really good point. Do you ban someone by games or by years? I don't know. Given the league's crackdown on hits that can cause long-term injury while serving no function as a hockey play, I'd say the absolute minimum in your scenario is 21 games, the length of Tom Wilson's original suspension for the Sundqvist hit +1, but could easily be a life ban, given the scenario you described, not the actual kick. Very good comment, Jay, very in depth, and you made some really good points there. I think you know, I think everyone could probably make a case for a lifetime ban, even if you think maybe it's only worth 20 games or 30 games. I think you have to consider the option for a lifetime ban in the NHL. You'd have to. It's a kick to the neck. Last comment by Jason. 2, because the Department of Player Safety is stupid. I just added this because it's funny, and it's not wrong. The Department of Player Safety, for years now, you'd think it would improve, but to be honest, I don't think it has. They've been incredibly inconsistent. They just find someone for squirting water on someone. Are you serious? You're gonna find someone for squirting water on someone? Give me a break. Like, that's a joke. That is an embarrassment to the league. You can't squirt water on someone? How soft have we become? You can't squirt water on someone. It's ridiculous. You're gonna find someone for squirting water on someone? Oh my god, it's so frustrating. It really pisses me off, to be honest, that someone's getting fined for squirting water on someone. It's ridiculous. Anyways, I could probably make a whole video with this and go on a giant rant, but thank you for all the comments. I really appreciate it. Sorry I got a little heated there at the end. Just really frustrating. So, moving on to the question for this episode, which will extend to next week's episode where I read your answers. The question is about, if you haven't guessed it, the Washington Capitals, wearing some Capitals merch. It's about Ovechkin. This is an Ovechkin jersey. One of my favorite jerseys in my collection, actually. So Ovechkin, as I'm filming this, just hit 700 goals. Really cool to see. I'm a big Ovechkin fan, always have been. But this is about Ovechkin, and it's about his future. If you look at his contract, it's coming to an end pretty soon. I believe he has 2 years left in his contract, including this year. So next year, I think, if I remember correctly, is his last year on his contract, and then he's a UFA. He will be 35 or 36, I believe, at that time. So you have to consider the fact that, he's won a cup in Washington. He has the ability to make the decision to go elsewhere to try and win a cup. I know that he has said in interviews that his favorite place to play is Montreal. Does he make the decision to go play in Montreal? I don't think so. I personally believe that he probably stays, just based on the fact that he does love Washington. But the question this week is, if Alexander Ovechkin makes it to becoming a UFA and he doesn't sign a contract extension next year or a new contract or whatever, and he makes it to free agency, do you think he stays in Washington or do you think he goes elsewhere? If you think he stays, tell me why. If you think he goes elsewhere, tell me where do you think he's going to go and why. I'm really curious to hear your answers. Ovechkin is probably the greatest goal scorer in the history of the NHL. He's on pace to break Gretzky's goal record. It would be amazing if that happened, and it would be weird to see him on another team. So, I have no predictions. The only logical answer that I could come up with is Montreal. I'm not saying that as a Canadiens fan, because I am a Canadiens fan. I'm saying that because of his comments about Montreal being his favorite place to play hockey. He loves the building, loves the atmosphere. So to me, if I'm going to pick a team, it's probably Montreal, but I would be curious. I'm not saying that in hopes that you'll choose Montreal. I actually hope that you choose elsewhere, because I'm curious to know where you think he'll go. Do you think he would sign in Pittsburgh and play with Crosby and Malkin? You never know. It might be a better fit than you think. So anyways, let me know your thoughts down below. I'll choose some answers that you leave in the comment section on this video in next week's Fan Friday. So if you're not subscribed and you want to see that video, definitely hit the subscribe button. I'd really like it if you could join me for that. Tomorrow, there's going to be an announcement made, not really an announcement. We're going to announce the winner of the contest that we're running, the AHL Team Creation Contest. So many awesome submissions. I can't wait to show them to you. They're just an absolutely incredible, like so many incredible submissions. You guys are going to love them. Like, you guys are going to love them. I can't wait to show them to you. And we're going to give away 5 jerseys to the winner. So please check out that video tomorrow, coming up probably later in the day. Thank you so much for your support recently. It really means a lot. Thank you for the kind words in the comments on Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. You guys are awesome. And I'll see you in Fan Friday's video next week. Hopefully on Friday, actually. Adios.